But anyway, these guys all have names. Goofy, Ask, Bee, Dance, Shy. Anyway, so I can't remember how I did those. I think I did do them. That's the great thing about the iPad is you can make it really big and work. And you see my big like kindergarten painting. So to be able to bring it so it's really detailed, you know, you bring it down, the screen comes down, and it's like it gets small, and you're like, wow, what a steady hand you have, Maria. So.
Mary?
Question. Can I ask you what, everybody else probably doesn't care, but can I ask you what program you use to do your art on?
Yes, and I did write that down so I'd remember it. Paper.
You use something called paper?
Mm-hmm. It's an app that is an Apple product, and I think I pay $12 a year.
Oh my goodness.
To use it. But there's free versions. But if you want a potato print and do the stampy thing, hi Mary Lou, you have to pay $11.99 a year. So save up.
And are these the same?
These are sort of a bigger printout of the same chickens. And I don't have chickens or anything. I just sit around and make them up. It's so much easier than feeding them. Yeah, and then I think some of you have seen the people. Yeah, so those are just sort of my shadow self. They don't really like to come out in public, so. But there they are in their cage. Okay, anything else? Hi, welcome.
Hey.
Okay, jumping jacks.
Go right ahead.
Just go for it.
All right, so let's see. This one is, I don't have a lot to say about. I've been painting over old canvases that I saved for some reason, thinking that maybe at some point somebody might think they were interesting, but I'm now painting everything over. I do take a digital picture first. So this one's in process. I'm not sure really where that's going, but I'm kind of liking bringing out stuff that's, I don't have any idea what's going on with it.
Now, when you paint over, are you completely painting over, or you're letting some things come through that were on the canvas to start with?
Yeah, so there's stuff happening. That's was part of the original one, and a lot of this blue, light blue, is just painting over everything. But then these guys are kind of like that's the under stuff. So I mean, it's kind of relaxing in a way because it's like a collaboration with somebody. You know, it's not a blank canvas. So I'm not really sure where that's going to go. I'm not sure what this building is. It almost looks like a glass house, like a greenhouse or something. It's called Tulip Neighborhood. This one I will show some slides of it in different iterations. When I made this like 15 or 20 years ago, it was red and it was all abstract, and it had this great old favorite silk shirt of mine on it. And I just was very impressed with myself. It's acrylic, yeah. But again, you know, it sat around for 20 years. Little things dangling off.
Will it be reinvented?
Oh, that's been reinvented.
This is it.
Maybe 20 years from now.
Oh no, now I'm attached to it.
I love you left the side, the original, right? You said it was all red. And yeah, that's cool.
I mean, I just sold a painting and I'd left it, and that's for some people, that's just sloppy, depending on like what house it's going into. I'm with you. I think it's interesting. But you know, if you were hanging that on a white wall, you might, you know, I might, for a fee, of course, paint the side, you know, so it just goes away. Anyway, I'm going to talk about the process of the bouquet paintings. Alphabet, I just love, that's a default. Like some people do sun salutation, you know, and that's their clearing, or you go cross-country skiing. When I don't know what to do in my life, I do the alphabet. I just love the alphabet. And that was a big, crazy, weird painting. And I don't know, I'm not sure if that even works, but anyway, it made me happy, and so. After the parade, neighbor of Tulip Park, or whatever the other one was called. Hi, how are you? Welcome, Mary.
This one.
Good, it's so good to see you. I only see you once in a while. Let's see, we could go into the computer room. Oh, no, that's, so this white spiral thing, so this is an older painting. This isn't part of this era. It's a little more, you will behave.
Yeah.
Stencil.
Oh,
Just like a stencil, like a doily, kind of like just a
Oh,
stencil.
doily, okay.
Just trying to kind of
Yeah.
do something weird with it.
Mary, is that part of the original painting, the stencil, or did you add that later?
I added it later.
Very nice.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.
So this painting, and then my other than the alphabet hearts, as you guys know, is a default. So it's like, what are you going to do? Okay, do hearts. My sewing machine guy told me that the thread, that I should not use any old thread in my sewing machine, and I have many of my friends' mothers who've died. I've said, oh, can I have her thread? So I have all this thread, you know, enough for like 400 years. So I now started just gluing it to things because I'm not supposed to use it. And this one's called Love is Messy, and it has lots of string around it. Yeah. And this one I'm particularly proud of, just because it's so white space-ish, you know, and I've just trusted that it's okay not to fill in every little last place. And I think that's a developmental leap for me to do that, to just let it stand there.
What do you call that one?
Simple pleasures.
Mary, your white space is always so interesting, though. Always
It's pretty filled in for a white space. And my graphic design son would be like, Mom, that is not white space. It's filled in space. You messed with it. And then I do have more of these ladies, but she's here now. So I've been doing these sort of busts of, I mean, really, I can't draw people. I don't know how. I don't know how to do it. So I just do the shoulders with a little leaf or something, or a big dress.
Could be a mermaid.
She could be a mermaid. She might. There was a fish here. There was a big fish here. And then I just was like, really? I don't know. But so this one's evolving.
Because you see how it looks like the river is under the ice.
Yeah, yeah. Do anybody have any questions about this piece, or anything that you see in it, or?
I like the bird. I think it's a wonderful bird.
Yeah. I ate some kind of chocolate and it had that nice pink paper. I will take some donations of weird papers and things. I'll show you my paper.
That's the actual paper.
Yeah. I'll show you my weird little stash and you can like, okay, note to self, give that to Mary. I just think I feel really moved to paint women and just symbolizing the feminine, and you know, I just think our world, we just have to really release our femininity and love and cry and dance and cook and fight with our loved ones and hug them, you know? And so that's where I kind of want to go with these women headdress paintings. And I have all you gardeners that have these gorgeous gardens that I go and take pictures, and Susan's library garden and Rick, and so I have all this great design to follow. So
I think she's exotic and erotic.
yeah, definitely erotic. Yeah, and then this one is I did in a class called The Year of the Rabbit last year, and it's an overpainting of some profound painting I did that was so incredible. But and again, something on the head. I think that may be a theme of like, what's going on, Mary? Well, just look at the painting. Funny. Yeah. And then these flower paintings are, I took a class online. I love online classes. And this teacher had us sketch bouquets of flowers. So you'd sketch out, and then you'd turn your canvas to the side, and you'd sketch it out another, and then you'd do it 4 times. And so you'd have like not a blank canvas anymore. You'd have all this information about leaves and shapes, and so you just then had to edit, like what's going to happen here. So it's really worked for me. I've not really wanted to listen to teachers much in my life, so I'm learning now. I'm like, I want to be a student. So anyway, and I love them. I just think they're a really nice loosening up. I do splatter painting, just watery brushes and stuff. So
It's wonderful. Yeah, it's great. Good job, Mary.
thanks.
Yes.
So that's it. And then I have a slideshow if you would like to stay for that. That's a little quirky. Okay, you guys, there's 52 slides. There might be more. And I've been up since 4 in the morning, and I did all this yesterday because I didn't want to be too prepared.
If you fall asleep, we'll just keep looking.
But so what time is it? It's 6. So that's all. I thought the whole thing would be ended after an hour. So if you need to go, just don't be shy. Just get up, grab the cookies, and go. So what's that kefir, lacto, it's like sauerkraut, you know, lacto. Kimchi. So we were at my friend Sally's house 2 nights ago, and this was her corn that she had kimchied. Fermented, yeah. This is a pot holder, and this is my studio. I just painted it this color. It was dark brown or something. Okay. So I love this quote, "Let everything happen to you, beauty and terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final." And that is pretty much the story of my experience of living is, and this is what the slideshow is like I find beauty everywhere. I mean, I do happen to live in a very beautiful state, in a beautiful place. But like the kimchi jar, it's like everything, it's just coming at me. So lucky me. But it's also there's also a lot of terror, so. So In 2020, I gave a talk at the library. I had a podium, and it was very frightening. I didn't want to do that again. That's why we're all huddled in. And so I just kind of went through my slides. Again, you can leave whenever you want. Just kind of looking at nature and my art and just little things along the way that up until today. This is one of my people. She has a cabbage head. We did a lot of being just in our forest during the pandemic. These are the people I made probably 5 or 6, 7 years ago. I did a lot of photo shoots of my people during the pandemic. They were my friends. And I did a lot of like lighting. I always wanted to be a Vogue magazine photographer. That was my like teenage goal. So these are my Vogue magazine people. The one on the right is a pair of my dad's old socks. I did wash them. These are for I don't know how many years I had, like at the end of the night, I would just sketch the thing that was in my head. What's that? Hey, what about me? This little being. This was like after we lost the election. Political, that's my political statement, but it's very under wraps. This one's at night, I draw cartoons with my cat. It was so fun to go through all this stuff. It's like, geez, Louise, when did you sleep? This tea set I bought because I had little girl neighbors, and I have 4 boys who are in their 30s. And I just barely started using this this fall. Like I bought it before the pandemic, and I never got to use it. So anyway, but again, you can see my paintings in there. It's just like, this is how I breathe.
Colors are excellent.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody wants to come over for a tea party, I will serve them shots. This is my dad, who's a bit older than that now. He's 92 now, and he's really part of my art process right now. A lot of my frustration and angst about, just helping him be in his aging years and losing all his friends and all of that it's good to have an art practice for me. I did a photo shoot with him. I'm on a ladder. He wanted to have family photos around him, so he's laying on the ground. And I made him wear those glasses. I'm like, Dad, you look really hip with those glasses on. So, and I made that little ho-ho, the bow. And he's a total ham, so he's part of my Vogue magazine, photo shoot guy. Yeah. I think this barn is maybe in Vergennes. Not all that wander are lost. And here's my big political statement: love, not war. Made these weird heads. Peace on earth, one of the people saying. Okay, so this is a little out of the box. Mary Lou, in that box there's a book, and you can just hold that up maybe. So a friend of mine wrote a book, and she asked me if I would do her cover. And it's an amazing book. It's very good. I don't know if we have it in the library, but an everyday cult. It's all about cult. She was in a cult. Anyway, she told me some elements of what dreams that she'd had, and this house, and this clothesline, and there was a teacup with blood, and the blood drops, and a bright purple negligee, and Anyway, so I just put it all on there and it worked. So I mean, I didn't know it would work, so I said I'll try. You can see it's very different from my hearts and thread. Yeah, a little different color palette. And I just saw this somewhere. I don't know We the Urban. They might be mass murderers. I'm just, I just thought it was cool. Oh, I just thought this was cool too. This was me and my husband surprising a friend of ours in Waterbury in the gazebo for her birthday. Her husband was bringing her to us. So. And one of her sons is in a Cirque du Soleil. He's a circus guy, so we dressed him. These are pot holders. This is a app called Canva. Does anybody use Canva? Yeah, so it's it's really easy, they say. Anyway, it removes the background of your photos. So that's mostly what I use it for. But you can get very silly with it. There we are, Rick and me on Time, the front of Time magazine. My kind of fake news. I went to Costa Rica. So this is all in the last 4 years. Vegetation, different vegetation there. This is a painting, I can't remember where I loaned it to somebody. It's somewhere around, it's big, the heart one. But I thought it looked great with these New York City window guys. I mean, and that's exactly like, I just am so stimulated when I travel to just, it's so validating that there are outfits out there, right? Because all of us are wearing like gray. The one on the right is the view from my studio. And the one on the left is our frozen pond. So it was really fun to just look at all the photos. I mean, I'm always taking photos of the sky. And then it's like, okay, well, wait, doesn't that inform that one? It's just, it's not like I mean to, it's just, I'm an empath, so.
Nice barn.
Isn't it? Yeah. So this one's the one that we were talking about that has all that the side isn't painted. These are just close-ups of that. And I think what it looks like now is that it's just a lot, like I drew black around a lot of the shapes and stuff with pastel maybe, so it's all outlined, so it looks a little bit more finished. That's the truck that we painted when open studio, Rick's truck. And I just thought the thing on the right is so beautiful, and it's so naughty. It's like really, really bad. I spray painted a piece of furniture on the driveway, and so that's spray paint. Maybe you guys would never do anything like that. Belly cast for Abby. If anybody knows Abby Jaffe, she used to live here. She's had twins. The lady. This is one of the ones that I'll probably bring in. This is the early stage of, I just thought it might be interesting for you to see, like, there's the body and just lots of water and spraying and twisting the canvas to just see what would happen.
What are the lines? How did you do the lines in the background?
Yeah, it's all this sprayed with a big spray bottle and then turning the canvas upside down, and it's just dripping. Yeah, and then then I'm turning it. And of course, then you're like, oh my gosh, this is so good. Like, how can I wreck it, with, anyway. But she's quite morose.
The lines in the upper half.
This one right here,
Yeah, the window.
Looks like a stained glass window.
Looks like a window.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's drips that are turned.
It's just drips.
Yeah.
Yep. It's collaboration with something. This was not a commission, but Burlington City Arts has like a lend-lease program for artists to hang in the airport and the hospital and different places. And so they called and asked me if I would have anything that was 10 feet wide and 8 feet tall. And I said, well, when would you need that? And, oh, like next October or something. I'm like, yeah, I have something. So this was another, for me, a big political statement. It was the era of we're not letting any refugees in. We're not letting anybody in. And so this says welcome, and it has prayer flags, and then it just has headscarves and, as much diversity as I knew how to draw. What's really eerie about this, and it is in a couple other places of artwork I did at a certain time, is these things I never have done, and I just really think they look like the coronavirus. So, anyway, so that went up in the airport, in a place where you land, and then you come down, and it's right there, and you're looking down so you don't fall. And it's like, oh, yeah. So, that's okay. That's all right. Practicing.
I love that.
That's another iPad.
That's great.
So the one on the right is sort of the way I've always done them, is just like draw it and, make the dots, which is I love doing. But this is really fun. I really like doing it on the iPad. Out in the woods, looking at things. Paint palette. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but I did have a bunch of I used to do kids' summer camps, but then I didn't for a long, long time. And so these are all neighborhood kids that enrolled in my class. And so we painted the outside of one of our buildings. And it was good, but I realized I love kids, but I don't like the whole disciplining thing. I've already done that. So I just like your age group is more of my people. Like, you're kind of potty trained.
We can sit still.
But you still want to do like this for a little while and then maybe take a nap, Nature, nature, nature. These are plants, and my husband grows stuff.
Love your vivid colors.
Yeah, thank you. Dad in the waiting room somewhere. And some, like Penny, is this like a bad, is a bad thing? I know, I thought it was pretty, but then I was like, is that an invasive caterpillar?
Is that a jumping worm?
Jumping. Yeah. This is a weird little cloth. I wouldn't even call it a toy. I didn't stick any pins in it. It's not like one of those. This is just a close-up of one of the paintings that is out there that's dark blue on the background. And it just sort of shows pastel, just trying things with pastel, and you can just rub pastel off if you don't like it or paint over it.
How do you get the white lines on that? That look like rope or something? Never mind, don't go back.
Oh my God, I don't know if I can go back.
Don't do it, man.
Okay. Let's do it.
No, yeah, like those, the white edging of the leaf.
That's just
Like
a
right here?
pastel, right?
Yeah, how do
That's
you get
just
that effect?
pastel.
It's resist, wax resist, right?
No, it's just pastel on very bumpy, abused canvases that are just filled with
It's interesting.
things.
I like it.
Thank you.
Whoa.
That's a beauty.
That's beauty, right? Little class at Richmond Library always hires me to come in and do stuff. This is my dad's Navy group. He's this one. And I just saw the picture, and I just love that picture, so I'm taking it on the road. I thought it related it was like a beautiful, just to that picture that I was landing somewhere. And the one on the right is a close-up of a painting I did on a friend hired me to do her kitchen like thing over her cupboards. And she grows garlic, so more digital. Okay, and there's my mom's version of her group. She's right here, singing there. It's a cappella. And then juxtaposed with a very strange little self-portrait of me. I don't know. And then it just was like late at night and early in the morning. I just started putting things together. I just thought, I don't know,
Celebrate spring.
hearts and so there's her kitchen, kind of just a little. And I used to do a lot of that kind of decorative painting. That's how I paid my bills. And again, I did just do this comic, this clown weekend a couple of months ago. And I made a whole folder of all these weird pictures I've taken of myself. Again, Vogue magazine, but I do self-portraits. You know, there's nobody around in my house, so it's like, what are you going to do? You can hire a photographer. Come take this picture of me. I don't think so. But anyway, I showed the folder to Rick, and he said, "I'm going to play that at your obituary, at your funeral."
Oh my God.
It's like the dorkiest fun stuff.
Celebration of life.
All right, here's Dad doing something. He's actually well, so I'm just like, this is the part of my life. That's a big, huge banner that's on the outside of our house.
Cool.
Another people.
Lucky man.
That seemed very deep to me somehow. Okay, John Connell made these beautiful libraries, and Betsy and I painted this. And you guys know that John Connell does that?
No.
Yeah.
Makes
Makes
the
the
little
library.
libraries. Yeah.
He makes the libraries for our towns, and he does the hearts.
Town hall, isn't it?
Yeah.
The one on the right.
Oh.
Yes, it is. Yep.
Town hall in Underhill.
hmm This one's a water bottle with a face, and then this one's something we were growing that, I don't know, didn't really work, except it's really cool. This is new. Rick ran into the mailbox, and and it really needed to be painted, so that heart version is, so it's very, it's really good. I used to try to make things not too girly because there were all guys living there, but now it's just like, no. It's just hearts and flowers and So this painting is right there, and I sort of brought it if anybody wanted to look up close to some of the textures and things. At one point I thought I would do a demonstration, but I'm not going to do that. It's almost your bedtime.
Mary, could you just tell us a little bit about the process? Is that an over-painted, or did you start, and how many, does that take weeks, or do you
Yeah.
do it over once, or?
Jen, would you hand that? So I do things in spurts. So when people, will ask artists, how long did that take you? And they say, 62 years. I'm in that camp. Right, Sally? So this was a whole very lovely painting before this life. I just graduated from college 5 years ago. I could never pass the math. So before my mom passed away, no, it was 10 years ago I graduated, I went back to Johnson State College and I passed the math and got my degree and I walked. There's paper in here, wrapping paper that has numbers and equations all over it. So it's very meaningful for me. So this one's just kind of in process, and I don't really want to cover up that paper, but I do have more of it. The thing that I'm really working on these days is to not do the little kindergarten flowers, to have them do more natural shapes instead of. So it's just sort of like, it's just so relaxing to just make a shape and then fill it in, because the coloring is the fun part, right? I think.
Oh, obviously you work on many more than one thing at a time.
Yes, so, right. So I did just recently self-diagnose with Instagram that I am ADHD. So I'm really happy about that.
Just embrace it.
I called my best friend who's a therapist, and I said, Tar, did you know I'm ADHD? She goes, Mare, did I forget to tell you? Because she's like my person, she's my coach. She's just like props me up. You can do it. You can do it. But yeah, so I'll work on this a little bit, and then I'll work on something else. That's my happy place. Many of you are probably like that too. That you just work on things a little bit, and then you go to the next thing. Hopefully you don't just do the laundry, scrub the floor, bake the cake. Well, maybe. That could be your happy place. This fabric is significant. I bought it the day of the election results. When I went to Joann's Fabrics, I thought that it was really important to go there and walk up and down and see every piece of fabric that was available there. This is such gorgeous fabric, and it's $50 a yard.
Oh.
I bought a half a yard, and I hung it up. Well, first everywhere I went, I came in and I showed all the women the fabric, because everybody was like, so that's the day after the election. But look, doesn't it look like something I would make?
Yeah.
What's the fabric made of?
It's like a chiffon netting. And then it's really bright on one side, and if you flip it over, it's just as beautiful, but it's much more subdued. It's really beautiful, yeah. You guys saw those in person. Okay, we're almost to the end. These are flowers from around our yard that were clipped, and I just put them on that little banner. I think that's it.
Which painting do you have down at the street, the theater, where the Vermont Arts, plays or go on? You have one there.
Oh, at Main Street Landing.
Yes,
It's 2 hearts.
right, I knew there were hearts, I just wanted.
2 hearts, and Melinda Moulton bought them when she was buying all the art for the building, and I didn't sign it.
Yeah.
I was in that phase of my life. So she had a brass plate made that says Mary Hill, and it's two hearts, which I interpreted maybe were her and Lisa, just their building, and it's beautiful, beautifully framed right there in when you go to Vermont Stage or whatever. And I did it. Thank you for. She wasn't a plant. She just asked.
Do you have any at the medical center?
I do not, but I'm ready to go back. Yeah. Yeah, I had the most amazing show there in the Rotunda. So I'm ready to go back. I think that would be a really good thing. I had people that, one story was a woman, her son who was nonverbal, just danced and laughed around my art. And it just was like, wow, this. And the nurses said they would come and have their lunch there, and so it was, yeah. I think it would be good for the hospital, just this accessible energy.
On the floors, at least in Miller, they have. It's just Vermont artists.
I know. I'm just not very good at. But anyway, and then some people who are having chemo right now said you got to get some stuff in there. So.
What's the name of that?
Sorry, just one second.
The banners around town, what is your process for that? And are you including other artists, or is a lot of your work? Or?
So it's all community effort, and so my husband promoted me doing that during the 250th celebration of the town. I was pretty new to town, and so he thought that would be a good link. I raised my kids somewhere else, so nobody knows my kids here, which is like shocking to me. They're so great. And so I started that project, and then it's just been lots and lots and lots of people helping sew, making designs. And I loved, so the premise was, what do you love about Underhill? That was pretty much. There was never anybody wanting to put, submarine nuclear bombs and stuff on the images, so that's been great. But we got a lot of people that maybe wouldn't be people that spoke up at town meeting. There just was kind of a different group of people that were coming, so it was very, very sweet. We did a lot of workshops here. Now Barbara Yarrick is the coordinator, and she has gatherings all winter in the town hall. So, if you're on Front Porch Forum and you want to help, so you can do anything. You can paint something from scratch, or we do a lot of just painting over images that have been whipped to death in the wind.
Very nice. They do seem to change over time. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a lot of paintings at Purple Sage in Essex.
Yes.
Are they for sale or what?
Purple Sage in Essex was what's the name of that? Ralph Lauren retail space years and years ago. So it's a place that has an enormous amount of wall space, and they don't have really anything to put on the walls. So I moved in with my biggest paintings, and I get my hair cut there. So
Nice.
they are for sale, but they pretty much just liven the place up.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah, thank you.
They're big.
Yeah, they're really big. Yeah. So thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah.